Hello students, today we are going to learn about conformational isomerism and conformational structures of N-butane. Okay, let us go into the topic. See, before that already we have discussed about these points, that is isomerism is broadly classified into two types. Isomerism means the phenomenon of existence of two or more different compounds having same molecular formula but different properties, and the molecules or compounds are called as isomers. This isomerism is broadly classified into two types. One is structural isomerism, or also known as constitutional isomerism, and the second one is called as stereoisomerism. Coming to this structural isomerism or constitutional isomerism, in this isomerism the isomers, it means the isomers differ in the structure. That means the bond connectivity in the isomers is different. It means isomers are having different bond connectivity. The structure of the isomers are different. Those are called as structural isomers or constitutional isomers. And this structural isomerism is again classified into chain isomerism, positional isomerism, functional group isomerism, tautomerism, and metamerism. We have discussed all these in the previous classes. And the next classification, the second classification, is stereoisomerism. Stereoisomerism, in this, unlike structural isomerism, in these stereoisomers the bond connectivity is same. It means the bond connectivity is same, but the difference is in the spatial arrangement of atoms or groups in the molecule. That means bond connectivity is same, but the spatial arrangement of atoms or groups of atoms around, that means in the molecule, is different. Coming to see here, that means this is the one example. Stereoisomerism, this isomerism is due to the difference in the spatial arrangement of atoms or groups in the molecules. For example, just by seeing this one example, let us try to understand what are stereoisomers. In this first, see here, in the first structure and second structure, the groups or atoms attached to the carbon molecule are same. That means in each molecule, one hydrogen atom, one COOH group, one NH2 group, and one alkyl group. These four groups attached to the central carbon atom. It means in both molecules only these four groups only attached to the carbon atom. That means the bond connectivity is same. That means the two carbons in the two molecules are attached to similar groups, but here they are different molecules because the spatial arrangement of the groups or atoms around that carbon are different. That means in the first structure and the second structure, about these carbons, the spatial arrangement of the four groups is different, and those molecules are different molecules, This type of isomerism is said to be stereoisomerism, and the isomers are called as stereoisomers. And coming to the classification of stereoisomerism, stereoisomerism is again classified into two types. One is conformational isomerism, another one is configurational isomerism. See, the main difference between conformational isomerism and configurational isomerism is conformational isomers are readily interconvertible from one isomer to another isomer due to C-C single bond, that is carbon-carbon single bond rotation. Due to the rotation of the C-C single bond, they are readily interconvertible from one another. That is, in this class, let us go detail with this conformational isomerism. And next, coming to configurational isomerism, that means these isomers are not interconvertible readily. For the conversion of one configurational isomer to another, the bond should be broken and some new bond should be formed. That means the interconversion is not possible. For the conversion, the bond should be break some bonds and some new bonds should be formed. Those are called as configurational isomers, that is called as configurational isomerism. And this configurational isomerism is again classified into two types. One is optical isomerism and another one is geometrical isomerism. Already we have discussed about this. Optical isomers are again classified into enantiomers and diastereomers, and and we have learned about these enantiomers, diastereomers, optical activity, all these terms. And coming to geometrical isomerism, also known as cis-trans isomerism, already we have that means discussed about this. And today in this class we are going to discuss this about conformational isomerism and conformational isomerism in N-butane molecule. Let us right. Coming to this conformational isomerism, it is a form of stereoisomerism in which the isomers can be interconverted exclusively by rotations about single bonds. That means due to the rotations about single bonds, the single bond generally it is in between carbon-carbon. Due to the rotation about carbon-carbon single bond, the isomers can be interconverted. That means the isomers are called as conformational isomers and the phenomenon is called as conformational isomerism. See here, such isomers are generally referred as, that means the stereoisomers which are readily interconvertible from one to another due to carbon-carbon single bond rotation are generally referred as conformational isomers, and they are also called as conformers, and especially they are called as rotamers. Due to the rotation of due to the rotation around carbon-carbon single bond, these isomers are interconverted from one another. They are called as rotamers. See here, when the rotation leading to different conformations is restricted rotation, in the sense that there exists a rotational energy barrier that needs to be overcome to convert from one conformer to another conformer. That means in order to convert from one conformational isomer to another, there is an energy gap, that is rotational energy barrier. That means for the conversion from one to another, this energy barrier needs to be overcome. I think you have understood about this, right? Conformational isomers, that means the isomers which are interconverted due to carbon-carbon single bond rotation, right? These isomers are thus distinct from other classes of stereoisomers, in which the interconversion necessarily involves breaking and reforming of chemical bonds. That's why they are studied in separate classification. That means the stereoisomerism, this conformational isomerism is one type and all other are one type, because in this conformational the interconversion possible, but in all other stereoisomers the interconversion, that means it involves the breaking of bonds and reforming of chemical bonds. And the rotational barrier or barrier to rotation is the activation energy required to interconvert rotamers. That means for the conversion of one rotamer to another rotamer or one conformer to another conformer, that means the needed activation energy is the rotational energy barrier, or it is called as barrier to rotation. It means this is the activation energy required to the molecules to interconvert between one and another. And see here, for showing this conformational isomerism, that means for explaining conformational isomerism, we should write the molecules in Newman projection. In Newman projection, the conformations can be best explained in Newman projection. And we know that there are some projection formulas in order to, that means present the three-dimensional molecule on paper, because this stereochemistry deals with the three-dimensional structures of the molecules. That means it is not possible to write 3D structure on a two-dimension, that means on a whiteboard or paper, or that means on a notebook. For presenting the three-dimensional structure of a molecule in a convenient way on board or paper, there are some projection formulas. That means we can conveniently present the three-dimensional molecule on the paper with these projection formulas. There are 4 types of projection formulas are there. The first one is wedge projection. The second one is Fisher projection. The third one is Sauer's projection. Fourth one is Newman's projection. These 4 projections are used for writing the three-dimensional structure of a molecule conveniently on a whiteboard or on paper. Then that means in these structures, the Newman structure is convenient for explaining this conformational isomerism. See here, this is one structure. This can be represented in Saha's formula like this. That means to write Newman projection formula. See here, in Newman projection formula, that means in the conformation, as the rotation is about CC bond. See here, for writing Newman projection formula, let us say that we are viewing, that means we are seeing the molecule, or we are observing the molecule from this side. We are observing the molecule from this side. From this side, then what see here, that means as we are viewing from this side, this is the front carbon and this is the back carbon. Okay, this is the front carbon and this is the back carbon, and this is the carbon carbon single bond. Okay, means in writing Newman projection formula, this front carbon is indicated with this dot. Front carbon is indicated with this this dot. See here. Yes, this dotted, it shows the front carbon. This is the front carbon, this is the rear carbon. That means, see here, this is front carbon and this is rear carbon. The front carbon is indicated or shown with dot, this dot, and back carbon is indicated with this circle. Back carbon is indicated with circle and front carbon is indicated with dot. And see, if you observe to this first molecule, we have 3 bonds. Those 3 bonds same like this, we are written like this. See here, this is the 3 bonds, or I can write like this. See here, this is the front carbon indicated with 1 dot, and this is the second carbon indicated with this circle molecule, and to the first carbon 3 bonds like this. See here, like this, and like this. And to the rear carbon we have 3 bonds like this. See here, 1 bond like this, 1 bond, that means like this, 1 bond like this. See here, in this molecule 1 methyl, 2 hydrogens, 1 methyl here, 2 hydrogens here. In the front carbon, see here, left side OH, here H, here also H. I think you have understood. That means this is the Newman projection formula. This is front carbon, the circle is back carbon. To the front carbon, again we are placing this. See here, OH, H and CH3. And to the back carbon, that means on the, that is rear carbon, that is circle, that is having CH3, H, H. I think you have understood how to write this Newman projection formula. Let us see one more example. See here, this is another one more example. That means see here, let us view the molecule like this, and this is the front carbon, this is front carbon, hence it is indicated with this dot, having 3 bonds, 1 hydrogen, 1 OH group, 1 methyl group. And to this back carbon, which is indicated with this circle, to the 3 groups are attached, 1 methyl and 2 hydrogens, 1 methyl and 2 hydrogens. I think you have understood about this Newman projection. And one more thing here, torsion angle or dihedral angle, it is generally the angle between the HCC plane and CCH plane. The CC means the bond between the front carbon and rear carbon, and see here, the hydrogen is attached to the front carbon and back carbon. That means the angle between HCC plane and CCH plane is called as dihedral angle or torsion angle. The torsion angle or dihedral angle, it can be easily seen in Newman projection formula. See here in Newman projection formula, let us say, okay, let us write, see here, this is the best way to explain. Right. In this, in the first structure, see here, the dihedral angle is 0 or torsion angle is 0. In this, the angle between these two hydrogens is said to be dihedral angle. That means the two planes, that is HCC plane and CCH plane. The CC means C single bond C. That means front and back carbon, the bond between front back carbon. That means the first hydrogen and the second hydrogen. The bond between those two is called as dihedral angle. In the first case, the angle is 0, and in the between, see here, in the first, that means in these two hydrogens, see here, one is like this, another is like this. The bond between those two hydrogens is 60. And in the third structure, if we observe, the bond between the two hydrogens is 180. This angle is called as dihedral angle or torsion angle. Dihedral angle or torsion angle. See here, that means with this, I think we have understood. That means in Newman projection formula, the conformational isomerism is best explained, and the dihedral angle means the angle between the HCC plane and CCH plane. Next, coming to this, conformational isomerism in N-butane. See here, N-butane, we know the structure, that means 4 carbons, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. And for explaining the conformational structure isomerism, we take this CC bond, I C single bond C, and due to this CC bond rotation, we get different conformations for N-butane. Okay, and then see, this is the Sauer structure of this N-butane, and same writing Newman projection formula, we can easily write like this. See here, this is the front carbon, this is the back carbon, and to the front carbon 1 methyl. That means to the 2 carbons, I am while writing in Newman projection formula, that means the front carbon dot, back carbon or rear carbon with circle. To the 2 carbons, 1 methyl group and 2 hydrogen. 1 methyl group and 2 hydrogen groups are attached. See here, for the front carbon, 1 methyl 2 hydrogens, 1 methyl 2 hydrogens, and to the second carbon also 1 methyl and 2 hydrogens. Here, see here, if you observe, the dihedral angle is 0. I think you have understood. Next one, let us see. This is also one more conformation. Okay, let us, that means how to write, that means Newman projection for N-butane. That's just, you know, that just for knowing purpose. See here, when we observe the molecule like this, this is the front carbon, this is the back carbon, front carbon dot 2 hydrogens and 1 methyl, and the back carbon also 2 hydrogens and 1 methyl. And here the dihedral angle is between the two groups 180. And coming to the conformations of N-butane, these are the conformations of N-butane See here, due to CC bond rotation, we get number of conformational, that means infinite number of conformational isomers. But for the restricted rotation, generally we take 60 degrees dihedral angle. For that we get these type of 6 conformations for N-butane. See, if you observe in the first structure, all groups are eclipsed. That means the groups present on rear carbon are exact backside of the groups present on front carbon. That means the methyl group on the rear carbon is exactly backside of the methyl group attached to this front carbon. That means the dihedral angle is 0 in case of first structure, and this conformation is called as eclipsed, that is fully eclipsed conformation. That means the methyl with methyl group, then the 2 hydrogens with hydrogen groups are eclipsed. Hence the first structure is called as fully eclipsed or eclipsed conformation. And coming to the second structure, that is Gauche conformation. In that means if the rotation is possible by 60 degrees, generally we rotate, that means we fix the first front carbon and we rotate the back carbon, that is the circle carbon we rotate. That means the substituents present on the rear carbon or the circle, they can move. Generally we move by clockwise direction. That means the substituents present on first carbons are fixed, and we rotate the substituents present on back carbon. That means if from 1 to 2, if we rotate back carbon by 60 degrees, that means the dihedral angle in case of second conformation is 60 degrees. See here, the dihedral angle is 60 degrees. 60 degrees. Okay. Then here this type of conformation is called as Gauche conformation. That means the all groups, that is 2 methyl groups, are separated by 60 degrees, and 2 other hydrogens also separated by 60 degrees. That is the dihedral angle is 60 degrees. This conformation is called as Gauche conformation. And coming to the third, and coming to this third conformation, see here again, if you rotate one more 60 degrees the back carbon in clockwise direction, again one more 60 degrees, the methyl comes here and the other 2 hydrogens also like this comes like this. Here again the dihedral angle is 120 degrees. See here, the bond between these two is 120 degrees, and in this case also the methyl on first carbon is eclipsed with the hydrogen, and the hydrogen as first carbon eclipsed with methyl, and 2 hydrogens are eclipsed. This type of conformation is also called as eclipsed conformation, but this is partially eclipsed. That means this third structure is partially eclipsed compared to this first structure, because in the first structure all similar groups are eclipsed, that is called as fully eclipsed, and the third one is partially eclipsed. And here in case of third molecule or third conformation, see here In case of third conformation, the dihedral angle is 120 degrees and it is called as eclipsed conformation. If we again rotate the rear carbon by 60 more degrees, we get this type of structure, fourth structure. In these the two methyl groups, the angle, that is the dihedral angle, is 180 degrees. The dihedral angle is 180 degrees. And here if we observe this structure, the similar groups are present on opposite side. The similar groups are present on opposite side. That means the two methyl groups are present opposite side and the two remaining hydrogens are present also opposite side. That means there is a maximum distance is there. This type of conformation is called as anti-conformation or staggered conformation. That means they are far away from each other. This is called as anti-conformation or staggered conformation. And coming to the next rotation, that is fifth rotation, that means by rotating 60 more degrees from fourth, we get the fifth molecule. The fifth molecule is also, if you observe, it is similar like third molecule. See here, the fifth molecule is again similar with this third molecule. That means same eclipsed manner. The methyl hydrogen and the two hydrogens, methyl hydrogen, two hydrogens and one more methyl hydrogen, those are eclipsed in eclipsed way. This is also an eclipsed conformation and it is called as partially eclipsed conformation, and it is the fifth structure. And here in case of this conformation, the dihedral angle is 240 degrees. And coming to the last structure, that means again rotating 60 more degrees, that means the dihedral angle is 240 degrees like this. The dihedral angle is 240 degrees. In this again the methyl groups are separated by generally, that means they are separated, and this type of conformation is called as gauge conformation, and it is the sixth conformation that is having dihedral angle 300 degrees centigrade. It is having dihedral angle 300. First this is 0, this is 60, this is 120 degrees dihedral angle, this is 180 degrees dihedral angle, this is 240 degrees dihedral angle, this is 300 degrees dihedral angle. And by rotating one more 60 degrees, again 360 degrees, that means we get this molecule. I think you understand. That means by rotating 60 more degrees we get 360 degrees, that means again 0 degrees. That means first molecule we get. Okay, that means in these structures, if you observe, the second conformation and sixth conformations are similar. If you observe second conformation and sixth conformation, they are called as gauge conformations and they are similar. And coming to the third conformation and fifth conformation, this third and this fifth, they are similar, they are eclipsed conformation, that is partially eclipsed conformation. That means with methyl with hydrogen and one more methyl with hydrogen and two hydrogens are eclipsed in eclipsed manner. Those are called as partially eclipsed conformation. And coming to this first structure, it is fully eclipsed. That means the methyl group is eclipsed with methyl, hydrogen with hydrogen. That is called as fully eclipsed conformation. And the fourth one, see here, it is called as staggered conformation, or it is called as anti-conformation. In this, the similar groups are opposite side. And coming to in this, the stability, the eclipsed conformation is least stable because the similar groups are eclipsed. Methyl group is eclipsed with methyl. That means there is strong repulsion between these groups. hence the energy of the molecule is more due to more repulsions, hence the stability is less in case of eclipsed conformation. And coming to in staggered conformation, that is fourth conformations, the similar groups are far away, hence the less repulsions. Less repulsions means less energy, that means more stability. That means staggered conformation is more stable than other conformations, while the fully eclipsed conformation is the least stable conformation than other conformations. While coming to this third and fifth structures, they are called as partially eclipsed conformations. In those molecules also the groups are eclipsed, that means they are having repulsions, hence the partially eclipsed conformation is also less stable conformations. And coming to second and sixth, they are gauge conformations. In those the groups are separated by 60 degrees. Of course, unlike eclipsed and unlike staggered, there is some distance between two methyl molecules and other hydrogens. They are separated by 60 degrees. Hence here the repulsions are moderate and it is moderately stable. And next, see, coming to the energy diagram of N-butane. Coming to the energy diagram of this N-butane, see here, this is the energy diagram. In this, if you observe, this is the staggered conformation. This is the staggered conformation, more stable than this Gauche conformations, somewhat less stable than staggered. Next, again coming to this partially eclipsed molecules, they are less stable than Gauche, and this is fully staggered molecule, again least stable than all other conformations. It means in the first, see here in the first structure, this one, the methyl groups, that means all similar groups are eclipsed, more repulsions are possible, hence the energy is more, hence the molecule is least stable. The second most least stable conformations are partially eclipsed conformations. See here, partially eclipsed, the third and fifth. They are in these molecules also, the groups are eclipsed. It is partially eclipsed, that means the methyl group is eclipsed with hydrogen, and another methyl group is also eclipsed with hydrogen, that is partially eclipsed. These are stable than fully eclipsed molecule, but less stable than Gauche and staggered conformations. And next, coming to this Gauche conformations, this and this one, it means second and sixth molecules. In these, the groups are not eclipsed. In this Gauche conformation, they are separated by 60 degrees, not eclipsed, hence the repulsions are less than eclipsed conformations and more than staggered conformations. Hence it is moderately stable. It is stable than fully eclipsed and partially eclipsed conformations, and it is less stable than staggered conformation. And coming to this fourth structure, this is staggered conformations. In this, the similar groups are opposite side, the two methyl groups are opposite side, hence that means experiences less repulsions, hence the energy of the molecule is less, that means it is more stable, hence coming to the stability of the molecule, In this, uh, the this conformation is more stable. Staggered conformation is more stable, followed by the two Gauche conformations. Then next, these eclipsed conformations. Then the least one is fully eclipsed conformation. Or we can write like this. See here, the fourth one is more stable than second and sixth. Second and sixth are same. They are more stable than third, which is equal to having, that means similar like fifth, which are more stable than first conformation, that is fully eclipsed. Staggered is greater than Gauche, greater than eclipsed, that means partially eclipsed, greater than fully eclipsed. That means this is the stability order of conformations are of N-butane. In this, staggered conformation is more stable, and the fully eclipsed conformation, that is the first structure, is least stable. This is about the conformations of N-butane. I think you have understood about this. With this I conclude today's topic, and in the next class we will discuss another topic. Thank you.